Put your body upon me, make me wine slowly. Baby, hold me tight and never leave me lonely. Never leave me lonely. Ooh, put your body upon me, make me wine slowly. Baby, hold me tight and never leave me lonely. Never leave me lonely, nah.
Hi guys, welcome back to Pynk Talk. Welcome to episode 5. Today we will be interviewing Cherice Marie. She is an artist and she is very beautiful, and I'm super excited to talk to her.
Hi.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry for the delay. I literally just walked into the door.
No problem. No problem. Sometimes there's some delays with this streaming service. I'm gonna go into another one because this is always acting up.
Okay.
But are you?
I'm fine. It's been quite a bit, to say the least, in terms of like my day to day. I'll admit that. Like sometimes I think I'm losing track of time.
Your skin looks absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
What do you use? What's your routine?
I am an essential oils type of girl. So I use jojoba oil as like my base for moisturizer, and then I use like a rose toner. And those are two things I quite literally get from my Trader Joe's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming to Pynk Talk. I've been looking forward to talking to you. I know that you're always up to something on the internet. I noticed you just had a photo shoot recently. How did that go?
Oh, it went well. I even that I sometimes don't know which photo shoot you're referring to.
You had yellow hair. It was like long.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was a promo shoot that I did with a really amazing dope stylist. Her name is Christine, and she has a brand called Warrior Punk and two others as well. And she wanted to, basically display some new up and coming designers. That knitted top that I was wearing was from a designer in the UK. Her name is Julie. I'll send you the link to her stuff in a minute. She's been in New York Fashion Week and like Vogue and everything. She's incredible. And
Also,
who?
you model also?
Yeah, so I'll give you my background.
Yeah.
So I come from a vocal musical theater background. I started at like 14 years old, and then I went into modeling at like 18, 19 years old, and then that ended up being like a platform, so to speak, for me as an artist to get the attention that I needed and to basically grasp other things. To me, music, fashion, and film go hand in hand. They're brother and sister. They always need each other to complete a cycle.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So I went to school for both musical theater and I studied film, and it was modeling in the midst of that. So I never really actually had to stop doing music. It was just at one point modeling became like a focal point of attention, and I realized that, and I was like, okay, I'm leering away from my actual goals. let me
Get
skip back a little bit, and during the pandemic I was able to focus on myself like a lot of other people were able to do, because we had some downtime, and I was able to complete my first full EP. And
It's Time Machine.
Time Machine, yes.
I
Yeah.
did check it out.
Thank
Very
you.
good job.
Thank you. And prior to that, I was doing nothing but features or working on other people's projects. And that time period, as you know, gave a lot of people, the chance to really focus on what it is that they need to do. And that's what I did.
Yes. So I really love your look. I had a feeling you were into modeling because you give that vibe. Like I could definitely see you on like America's Next Top Model and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Will you ever be into like reality TV shows? Because I could see you on TV.
I've been on a reality TV show before, but it was like by chance, and I was featured just as an artist. And it was for unfortunate but fortunate circumstances. It gave me a little bit of exposure, even though they paid me, but it's whatever. It was for an MTV show, and it's called Straight Up Ghosted. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, where they
Oh,
like, yeah, it's basically like the catfishing. The cat is that like the same people that did Catfish.
oh, they created this.
Yeah, for people who've been ghosted on by individuals. I don't get into it. It's kind of funny to me personally, but to the others on the show, they were like, horrified, terrified, mortified, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was hilarious because the whole predecessor of the show to me was just kind of like really ridiculous.
So, what was your role on the show? Were you the catfish?
No, I was the one who's like a supposed victim, but I didn't feel like a victim because this guy, he apparently dated multiple women at once, and the girl was trying to investigate and see who those multiple women were, and I guess I was one of the women. And I honestly, I let them come and interview me during one of my studio sessions, and I really and truly didn't care because I was over it at that point, and I guess she wasn't.
Wow. So that was completely made up.
I can and I can't say that, but yeah.
Wow.
I'll say this: the funny part is the guy. He's actually a stand-up comedian in real life.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So to me, it was funny because I know how he is as a person, where he's just saying obnoxious stuff to be funny, but to anybody else, it just seems really offensive. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
So many things are just so non-authentic these days. Like even the reality TV shows, they're
You can't.
like
You can't believe it. I wouldn't.
crazy. That's really crazy. Well, on
Mhm.
another note, it's time for some pink topics.
Okay.
And my first question for you is, what is your sign?
Oh. So my birthday passed in January. I'm Aquarius on the cusp of Capricorn.
Happy belated.
Thank you. January 21st. And I found out my moon is in Leo and my ascending is in Virgo or something, but I think I'm very much an Aquarius.
You definitely know all of the details of it. I don't know who my moon and my sun are.
Well, I was only in recent years told that. I didn't know what it was at first, and then I've used like different apps that can show you certain stuff too. And then I also, believe it or not, have a group on Instagram called Aquarius Delegation, where I post funny Aquarius memes or zodiac memes, and we all like share, our not our feelings but our opinions and ideals about being an Aquarius, and it's pretty fun.
Your experiences.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next question is, do you ever see yourself being in a group as far as like the music, or do you want to remain a single act?
If the overall circumstances look good and feel right, then yeah, I'll try it out. Other than that, I do have my own pursuits that I want to do as an artist without really having to overcompensate for who I am.
And if you weren't doing music, what would you be doing besides the modeling?
Or entertainment in general. Yeah. So I actually wanted to at one point to go and study anthropology and history and archaeology. I wanted to be like
Like a
a history
historian?
major. Yeah, I wanted to be one of those people that like digged in the dirt and
Oh,
studied
like
ancient
looking like
artifacts.
dinosaur
Yeah.
bones and that's cool. That's different.
Yeah, because I enjoy going to the museum and seeing things from different time periods that I've never seen before, or visiting the Metropolitan Museum or the Science Museum. I like doing stuff like that.
Oh, the Museum of Natural History.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Guggenheim?
Yes, and I actually know one of the first Black curators. Well, she is the first Black curator at the Guggenheim. Her name is Ashley, and she works there now. But
Know that.
I haven't been there in some time. But the Guggenheim does have really cool events.
And they have really cool architecture. Like I love the spiral when you go in. Everything looks so grand.
Yeah, and very diverse, very diverse. And that's what I like about it the most. But my favorite is the Met. It's always the Metropolitan Museum, hands down, is my favorite.
I haven't been there in a long time. I have to check it out.
It's easy to go. Like you can actually, if you're a resident of New York, you can
It's
give
free?
like a small donation to get.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. So my next question for you is, if you could go back to high school, what advice would you tell yourself?
Do exactly what you want. And I say that because, a lot of the time when I did what I wanted, I still leaned towards my plan Bs, and those plan Bs never worked out. My parents, very often implemented me having, that sort of adult mindset of always having a backup plan. And really, I shouldn't have prepared at all for those backup plans. What you call it? Eddie Murphy said something pertaining to that, and that's, never. It's going to come to me. Hold on. He said, he said, deep down inside, I think you know what you're supposed to be or who you're supposed to be from young. And that's why, plan Bs never work right away, pretty much. Because, if you go towards the plan B goal before your actual goal, then, the regret factor happens. That plan B that you never really wanted ends up being the bane of your existence in your life. And then you end up, wishing that you had just gone along with your first plan. And I never wanted that for myself. I've always like gone to the beat of my own drum, even as a kid, regardless of what my parents told me. But sometimes I do wish I just did exactly what I wanted, no matter how stubborn it seemed.
I get that. And
Hmm.
I would agree. Like, plan B is basically you're assuming, it's like the assumption that your plan A is not going to work.
Yes.
It's like you're already putting it out in the universe. Plan A is not going to work, so let's do a plan B.
Yeah.
There should never be a plan B. There should just be plan A and plan A only. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get, and I'm not
And
going to let anything stop me from getting that. Because
and
if
figuring out how you're going to execute plan A properly, like without having to lean on plan B.
like, if anything, you should have a plan B as to a different way you're going to attack plan A. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A second plan for your original plan, but not a totally different goal as plan B,
Yeah, because then plan B just ends up being a full on distraction.
Right. And then there does come the regrets and I wish I could have did this, wish I could have did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. You have to be a risk taker, like, especially if you really want something to happen for yourself, you have to be willing to make sacrifices, take risks,
All
like
the time.
in blind and not knowing what's gonna happen, but just believing in yourself and just going for it. Like, I totally agree with you on that. I agree. Like, I'm one of those people, if I get an idea, I'm gonna put as much materials that I can into this one idea. Even if it fails, I'm still gonna give it my all in the process. And
Absolutely.
ugh, I've 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 put money into so many different things, like things that I didn't know where I was gonna go, but I just wanted to try it. And
Mhm. Well, those things then eventually become excess things that are just overly saturated and distracting you again from the things that you knew you were supposed to do.
it also builds character though, because you
Mm-hmm.
learn new things about yourself along the way,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it's not exactly a fail because you learn. If you don't try, if you don't do things to put yourself out of your comfort zone, you're not
Yeah.
gonna grow as a person.
No, not 100%. And that's why plan A is important. Like, if you don't go out of your comfort zone, as you just said, or push forward in a sense of how you value yourself, not just others, but yourself, then that form of empowerment actually makes sense.
Yeah, and you have to value your own opinion more than you value the opinion of others because it's your life. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you're the one that's gonna live with these regrets. You're the one that's gonna be like, "Wow, I shouldn't have listened to that person." Oh, this is really making me hot because I know what this feels like. Like, I know what this feels like, especially when you have all these people in your ear, like, oh, that's not gonna work. How are you gonna do that? Da, 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 da. You have to block those people out.
Yeah, or not say anything to them at all. There are people who didn't even know I was working on my EP until it was done.
Yeah, that you have
And
to.
for very good reasons, just because I knew what kind of backlash or just unwanted opinions.
Yes, unwanted opinions. Oh my gosh, yes.
Like I didn't ask for your 2 cents or unwavered, notions towards my goals because you're not a part of that plan. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Like, if you're not investing in me, I really don't care for your opinion, to be honest. Because it's not gonna get me anywhere. It's just
None.
not, it's just gonna mess with my head and make me like rethink what I originally already had planned. Like, what was your original plan A before you went off and did other things?
It was always an entertainment. I just knew from young that deep down inside I was gonna work to some capacity in entertainment, be it in music or in acting. And as I told you, modeling was a platform, so to speak, for me as an artist. And I'll tell you this. So when I signed to my first agency when I was like 19, I had an initial plan of just focusing on acting and singing, not understanding that the agency that I was with was more focused on the fashion aspect. So then I started molding myself to this idea of being, a fashion model, which I did well, but it, at the end of the day, wasn't exactly what I wanted. And I didn't realize that until a series of unfortunate events that took place. I won't get too deep into it. And my music was pretty much what saved my life as a result. Me refocusing, me recalibrating my thoughts back to music is what saved my life. And without that notion, I don't know where I would be. I don't know who I would be. I don't even want to think about who I would be.
I could definitely relate to that too.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely relate to that too. Music is a huge outlet for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Wow, this interview got deeper than I thought.
No, I mean, hey, I'm sure with this, you never know who or what you're gonna get.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was really great having you, and I would love to have you back on the podcast whenever you have times. I know you're busy a lot, and I
Just
appreciate you.
give me reminders or hit me a certain way. You have my number now, so
Definitely.
mm-hmm. Do
Well,
it that way. We go from there.
Pinky's out.
Bye. It's nice.
Put your body upon me, make me want slowly. Baby, hold me tight and never leave me lonely. Never leave me lonely. Ooh, put your body upon me, make me want slowly. Baby, hold me tight and never leave me lonely. Never leave me lonely.